All right, so the McMinnville Water and Light Commission will meet now for a special session. This is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025 at 11:30 a.m. The meeting is being held at Water and Light Commission Room, and I would like to call the meeting to order. Trina,
Yes, Mayor Morris,
here?
Commissioner Tankersley,
Here.
Commissioner Elmer is not with us as of yet. Commissioner Garvin is on a leave of absence, and Commissioner Macy Baker.
Here. Perfect. Now I'd like to invite Jamie Phillips up to talk to us about BPA Power Sales Agreement. Please.
Thank you. Good morning. All right. So I am pleased to share BPA's provider of choice contract offer for McMinnville Water and Light Power Service through 2044 for the Commission's consideration today. The Northwest Power Act obligates BPA to give preference to public utilities and offer contracts with power supplied from the Federal Columbia River Power System to meet customers' net requirements load. McMinnville Water and Light signed its first power supply contract with BPA in 1940 and currently purchases about 97% of its power from BPA under its regional dialogue contract, which expires in 2028. Last year, the Commission adopted an integrated resource plan that was developed in partnership with EES Consulting to evaluate power resource options available to McMinnville Water and Light for the next 20 years. After thorough analysis of the areas of cost, reliability, risk, and environmental impact, EES recommended that McMinnville Water and Light continue to contract with BPA to serve its electric load. BPA has worked in collaboration with its customers over the past several years to develop the policy and the contract framework for the provider of choice contracts, which will provide power service from 2028 to 2044. In April, in response to BPA's solicitation and pursuant to the Northwest Power Act, McMinnville Water and Light submitted a request for offer to BPA, formally requesting a provider of choice power sales agreement and selecting BPA's load following product. Since then, staff has worked with BPA representatives to evaluate data and provide input on certain elements of the contract that are specific to McMinnville Water and Light. And on September 24th, BPA offered a power sales agreement, contract number 26PS 25055, to McMinnville Water and Light for consideration. To be binding, McMinnville Water and Light must accept the offer. Some foundational elements of McMinnville's contract include a term of 19 years, expiring on September 30th, 2044, with 16 years of power deliveries commencing on October 1st, 2028. McMinnville will be taking the load following product, which supplies power in the shape of our load. And BPA carries the planning obligation to meet that need and meet our peak. This is important for McMinnville Water and Light because the nature of our load profile and the significant fluctuations in demand that we see resulting from the steel mills load. The provider of choice contracts include a fixed system size. So BPA has set the output of the Federal Columbia River Power System at 7,250 average megawatts per year for the duration of the agreement. And that power is allocated to customers via contract high watermarks. And those contract high watermarks are based on fiscal year 2023 actual loads. So McMinnville's contract high watermark is currently estimated at 81.2 average megawatts. However, BPA will conduct the final calculation for that in mid-2026, and that will be incorporated into our Exhibit B of our agreement. we don't expect it to change too much. Soon after that, McMinnville will be required to make an election on the tier 2 product that it would like to take from BPA. And that will need to happen within 60 days of receiving our contract high water mark. Some other components of that are specific to McMinnville are the resources listed in Exhibit A of the agreement. These are non-federal resources that BPA incorporates and supports for McMinnville. We have Priest Rapids and Wanapum dams from Grant County, Washington, and we have the Riverbend landfill generation project. Importantly, that purchase agreement with Waste Management Renewable Energy for Riverbend expires June 29th of 2030. And that is also reflected in Exhibit A, that generation will drop off. That PPA expires and the related resource support costs for that resource will also terminate on that date. Another important element specific to McMinnville is included in Exhibit D, which is the contracted for and committed to load of 19.06 average megawatts attributed to Cascade Steel. And what this is, it's an element in the Power Act that preserves contracted loads that were contracted prior to 1979, and protects that amount of power from a new large single load exposure. Should the mill drop load and regain it, that 19 average megawatts gives them some insulation to a new large single load designation. So some future processes that are that BPA will conduct that will inform the contract and exhibits, or just the exhibits, sorry. The contract itself is boilerplate. Early in 2026, BPA will conduct a process with customers to determine resource support services. These are those suite of services that BPA provides to support non-federal resources that customers bring to their load. McMinnville has 2, Grant County, and 3, Priest Rapids, Wanapum, and Riverbend. So we will be involved in that process. That will be incorporated into Exhibit J of the agreement next year. Also, yet to be determined is the impact that BPA's participation in the Western Resource Adequacy Program has on the agreement, and also their participation in the day-ahead market. So you may have noticed in the contract, there are some placeholders for the results of those, the outcomes of those processes. And initially, BPA's timeline for contract execution included a deadline of December 5th, 2025 for customers to sign and return contracts. BPA had indicated that it would then sign and fully execute agreements by December 31st, 2025. However, BPA has recently accelerated its schedule for executing provider of choice contracts and committed to countersigning the agreements immediately upon receipt from the customer. The reason for this change in the schedule is the desire to secure public customers' contract rights to power at cost from BPA as soon as possible. Our trade organizations that McMinnville's are members of the Public Power Council and the Northwest Requirements Utilities have also encouraged their members to sign and return contracts to BPA to secure contractual rights to power. It's important to note that while this recent development has added a level of urgency, hence this meeting this morning, to executing our power contract, it is the action that staff would have asked of the commission regardless. The contract has been carefully considered, and staff is confident that it meets the needs of McMinnville Water and Light and its customers for reliable, cost-effective power service through 2044. And it's staff's recommendation that the commission accept and sign the provider of choice power sales agreement offered by BPA.
Thank you, Jamie. Good job. Any commissioners have any questions of Jamie?
Real
Tom?
quickly, first of all, Jamie, thank you very much. This is complicated stuff. It looked to me, and I've been through this once before, it looked to me like you had really carefully looked at this and thought about it. And also our organizations, I'm sure they had some impact in the negotiations. So
Yes.
thank you very much. I would encourage other commissioners that just because this seems complicated doesn't mean you can't understand it if it's important to you. So you ought to talk to Jamie or John or Sam and don't be afraid to ask the same question 3 times at 3 different times, because I remember last time I spent a lot of time talking to Rick Rozanski, who was in Jamie's position at that time, and he was very nice about answering my questions, sometimes 4 times, I think. But so it's, and I think this is real important to our utility. So I would encourage other commissioners to do this. And then, Jamie, I have just a couple of questions here, if I can make my iPad behave. And I'm going to skip the ones that John already took care of that I don't have. I don't think is beneficial to all of us, but one of them, Jamie, in section 12.1, John answered for me that we will be able to continue our conservation funding programs with Bonneville and get reimbursed under the Bonneville rules. But if we, as we thought about, do more conservation on our own, we don't get reimbursed from Bonneville, which is not a surprise. Is that your understanding of 12.1?
That's correct. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Next one. Okay, the next one is in 20.3.4. It's basically the Bonneville penalty for us if somebody unannounced and unanticipated ends up as a large single load, whether it's new or not. And it's probably someone who's not new. So my question is, should we have something both in our contracts with our large single loads now and in the future, and also in the rates that say, if we could even just reference this provision, let's say if somebody does something with their load that then makes us obligated to pay Bonneville back or pay Bonneville a bunch of extra money, that customer is responsible to pay us back for that.
Yes, absolutely. And we have that language in our existing agreements
Perfect.
with our 2 contract customers,
And
as well as a rate schedule.
It is perfect. Okay, thank you.
Hitting
See, I didn't quite follow all of that in the other stuff. And then Exhibit A, Section 2.3. We're on the Riverbend Power. We're selling that now. We're remarketing it now.
Yeah.
But under the new agreement, we have to use it because it takes up tier 2 space, basically, or tier 1 space if we're not in tier 2 yet, right?
Right. So in our current agreement, Riverbend is included as a new resource. It was contracted for after the agreement. And so it serves our above high watermark load. In the provider of choice agreement, Riverbend becomes an existing resource similar to Grant County, where it's deducted from our total retail load to get to our net requirement, which is our tier 1 eligibility.
And we've talked about this before, but unfortunately, even though it goes away in 3 years, it reduces our tier 1 for the whole time
It does. Yes, that's correct. However, BPA did offer adjustments to high watermark of 50% of those new resources. So,
okay.
and also it's important to understand that Riverbend's generation is declining. And so that delta is not as impactful as It may
Great.
seem, it's not 4.92 nameplate average megawatts, it's about one.
Oh, that's
Or
great. Thank you.
two,
Good
let's say
news.
two.
Good news.
It's
Okay,
between
thank
1
you.
and 2.
Okay, thank you very
tier
much.
two
That's
exposure.
very helpful.
Yeah.
And then finally, I asked you earlier before the meeting started, do the formulas in Exhibit B about contract high water mark make sense to you? Because I have no way to figure that out.
They do, yes.
Great.
Yes, it is my job to study those and make them make sense, so, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your help and
Yeah.
again for staff's work on this.
You're welcome.
I have a question, not for now, but like in the future. So like Southwest area plan in the city is like 600 acres and then you have Holt Homes coming on and does the amount of power that's going to be used in those areas, does that really show an effect on water and light?
It will. The Holt Homes probably not so much, but the Southwest area plan will definitely.
And then what about, and Highway 18 for
We've
innovation?
seen- Yep, that will definitely have an impact. And what'll end up happening, and this will be a decision, I guess, for the commission in the future, is how you want to handle tier 2 and you want to meld it with everything.
I see.
So
John, could you talk just for a second, please, about why the impact will happen and what it'll be?
well, we don't know what it'll be an impact based on our increased load. So we'll have additional tier 2 requirement. And that's where the impact will be, because that is right now it's about double, maybe not quite double what tier 1 is.
The price, it's a little less than double.
Yeah, it's a little less than double the current price of tier 1. So since we're not going to get any more tier 1, as load grows, we're going to be taking more tier 2, which then increases the average system cost for the megawatt hours.
So you're kind of saying is these new people coming on, will the commission decide whether they're all at tier 2?
That
Or if we're going to mix it all together and spread it?
would be
Got it.
something that will have to happen in future rate cases, yes.
Okay,
Future rate
just
cases.
curious because I know that there's some planned large
Mhm.
acreage.
And when those loads become more apparent,
Mhm.
and there's more certainty there, that will be incorporated into our load forecast with BPA. I update that annually,
Okay,
and so we can project out tier 2 needs and power costs. I do that also with the residential load,
okay.
and when we see that becoming more certain, it'll be included.
And
Okay.
power costs are about 65% of our total.
Yeah, I think 64 was my last calculation.
So that's of the total essentially bill that you get from us for the electricity.
Oh, personally,
Yes,
oh,
for
okay.
individuals.
Got it.
And so that is, you can kind of get an idea. So it doesn't, it's not a one-to-one relationship. If it increases, it doesn't increase by 100%. It's something less.
Gotcha, but still significantly.
It's still significant.
Rate increase to tier
Mhm.
2.
Yes.
Okay,
And will we also have capital costs for those areas like substations and
We will.
that sort of thing?
Yes.
And there are things that the developer pays, but there is stuff that we pay, right?
Correct.
The rest
Typically,
of the replayers pay.
yeah, typically we pay for the backbone for the electric, so the substation and maybe the main feeder portion, and then the developer would pay for anything that goes into their development.
gotcha.
Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Elmer, I see you're on now. Did you have any questions?
Not at this time. I'll
Okay,
like to listen and get caught up.
okay. Commissioner Macy Baker, any questions? No. Okay, so I think where we're at now is, we have a resolution. And are we prepared? Any other questions before I have Sam read it? No, all right, Sam.
This is resolution number 2025-25, a resolution accepting and approving the power sales agreement contract number 26PS 25055 entered into between the city of McMinnville acting by and through its Water Light Commission and the United States of America Department of Energy acting by and through the Bonneville Power Administration. That's resolution 2025-25.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the resolution?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion from Commissioner Tankersley and a second from Commissioner Lisa Macy Baker. Any further discussion? All right, Trina, can you take a count?
Yes, Mayor Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Tankersley,
Yes.
Commissioner Elmer,
Yes.
Commissioner Macy Baker.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. That appears to be the only thing for the special meeting, so I adjourn the meeting at 11:50. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good job,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.